Hello everybody, and today I got to do something here with this, one of my newer 20-gallon long tanks that I've set up. I think it's been about 4 months now, and it's not time. I've talked about before how I'm going to do my tank resets, where instead of just taking out the bad ones every 6 months or so, I am taking out and keeping only the best ones, taking out all the other ones, and restarting the colony with only the best shrimp. We're not quite to that point yet with this tank, but I also have been going through and taking out any of the obviously bad ones. So this is, I think if I haven't said before, this is a 20-gallon long Bloody Mary tank. And the problem here is the moss has taken over the entire tank in 4 months, and I want to see what is going on in here. So I'm going to take out all the moss, and then we're going to take a look at the shrimp. That's the main point of this, and if there's any obviously really bad ones, I'd like to get them out. And another thing, something I found, and I've talked about with my buddy Jeff, Valley Fish, he's getting into shrimp now, and he's realizing one of the hardest parts about keeping shrimp is keeping the right shrimp in the right tank. And so if you're trying to breed shrimp, this is something you need to worry about, because let's see if I can take this off the tripod real quick. Below me, or below the tank I'm going to be pulling stuff out of, we have a blue jelly tank, and the problem is going to be is I'm pulling out this moss. This tank is already horribly difficult to get into, really bad, and if I'm pulling stuff out, the last thing I want happening is Bloody Mary shrimp, baby Bloody Mary shrimp, falling off the moss I'm pulling out and ended up into my new blue jelly tank, which by the way is doing really good. Lots and lots of babies. Look at all the babies all up in that moss. All the little guys everywhere. So that's what we're doing. And remember, one of the hardest parts of breeding shrimp in multiple tanks is you've got to be so careful that the wrong shrimp don't get in the wrong tank, especially if you're like moving filters around, moving plants around. That is something that you always got to be mindful of. And so I put some shipping boxes. I don't use these kind of boxes anymore. I keep them in here for stuff like this, and so something to keep in mind. So I'm going to start removing this moss. I've never tried doing it like this before, but I've been watching a lot of Mark shrimp tanks, and I've always watched him here and there, but I've been watching all his videos, and I've really liked, not so much how, because the shrimp and stuff, yeah, he offers really good advice on that, but I'm really liking how he records things, and I've noticed, so I've been taking some pointers off of him for that, so thank you, Mark, for that, for getting the ideas. And so let's see, we're gonna put some back in, obviously, but then we're gonna Bloody Marys. I have no idea how many shrimp are in here or how they look. So there was getting to be quite a few in here at one point. So I reckon there's quite a few. The hard part is going to be, I got a bucket over here beside me. I'm going to put all this moss in. I have some orders going out this week. Oh yeah, there's a lot of baby ones in there. I have several orders going out, and a lot of them have moss in it. See, did you hear that dripping? I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but I was just dripping stuff. You know what? I thought I saw a little baby shrimp on the cardboard, but You always gotta be mindful that the wrong shrimp don't end up in the wrong tanks. If you're caring about having good solid lines, getting the wrong shrimp in the wrong tank is not a really good thing at all. So we're going to take see lots of little guys, so that's a good sign. And I'm sure this bucket I will find plenty of little baby shrimp in this bucket, no matter how good I shake it off, no matter how careful I am. There are always going to be some that escape. Let's see. This is real fun trying to do this and record like this, but getting videos. I'm starting to see more of them. Now with this colony, I probably only started this colony with like a dozen shrimp. So this colony is going to take a little bit longer than some of the other ones. Like I know I showed some. Ooh, there's a great big one, right? She's a really good mama. Right there in my thing. Oh, there she goes. She's huge. Oh my goodness. That's one of them monster shrimps. It's over an inch. Oh man, it's starting to take off. This will be due for a reset here in yesterday I did a video talking about when we're starting a bunch of big shrimp stock tank ponds, and the first one I'm going to do is a Bloody Mary one. Now this tank isn't ready to be this tank isn't quite ready to be reset, but the 40-gallon Bloody Mary tank, I'm going to reset that one before I got to go back to work, because that one is going to be a handful, and I'm going to keep only the very best, and then all the other ones, well, the obvious calls will go in the Skittles tank, but then all the ones who are still pretty good but not awesome will be going into the new Bloody Mary pond to be bred and eventually sold as mid-grades for cheap. That's the plan with the ponds, but we're not to that point yet. Oh, there are a lot of them in here. There's a wild one. That's the main reason I wanted to do this, because I had when I transferred some moss into this tank, which again touches on my point, making sure the wrong shrimp don't end up in the wrong tank. Alright, I thought I got them all. I looked and I pulled out probably like 10 or 12 of them at one point. I think one of the good Bloody Marys got knocked up by a wild that accidentally ended up in here. Okay, so let's see if I can get a better shot here. I gotta dry my hands off. Alright, let's see. We got there's a lot in here. I'm going to go ahead and take this off the tripod for now. And so far I've only seen the one. Well, maybe another one. I've only seen a couple bad ones that I'm going to get out, and that was the whole point of what I'm doing here. Now this stuff on the glass, that's on the inside, so I'll probably clean the glass and then we'll get them all gathered up so we can see what is going on even better. Alright, so I have a single algae wafer, and this will get almost all of them gathered up into one spot where we can get a better idea of what is going on. Okay. So there's that, and we'll check back in here in 45 minutes to an hour or so. Sorry for the glare. It's the best I can do. Alright, so while that video was going, while that time lapse was going, I got all the bad ones out. Obvious bad ones that I could see anyway. Never gonna guarantee I got them all. But now we're gonna put some moss back in and start getting this tank back together. Then we'll take a closer look at the shrimp. Grabbing a few hunks of moss here that I want to put back in the tank. Oh, I can't hardly stick my hand in this tank. The opening to get in it is so small, so it makes doing anything in here a great big giant pain in the butt. Alright, that don't look like a lot of moss, but it don't take long. That moss is happy to. Alright, so I'll take you off the tripod here and we'll take a closer look before we close it out. Alright, so here we are. This tank is doing really good. Considering about 4 months ago I only started it with about a dozen shrimp, and now we've got more than a dozen. I'd say there's over 100 in here probably. I'm sure there's over 100. There's that giant girl we saw at the beginning of the video. You don't see them get that big too often, and she's a really beauty. She is a beauty. Look at that girl. So, again, the purpose of this is I knew I saw some wild ones in here before, and I thought I got them all, and I wanted to make sure I did. And I ended up finding about 3 wild ones and a couple that were pretty low quality. So I got those guys out. It's a pretty good pile of shrimp right there. Bloody Marys, I tell you what, one of the reasons why I want to do the pond thing with these guys first is because these guys are so good. They really are. Almost no culling, and the only culling I had to do in here is because I screwed up and got a few different of the wrong shrimp in here when I reset this tank and turned it into a shrimp tank from the plants. So that's something you need to, like I talked about earlier, sometimes the hardest part about breeding shrimp is making sure. Oh my, look at that one. Woo! Holy smokes. That one is gorgeous. Bloody Marys are amazing. This line of Bloody Marys is so good. Alright everybody. We got the real bad ones out in a couple more months. Get some more breeding out. Then we'll be ready to do the reset, and we'll be keeping the very, very best ones. And all the other ones will be taken out and go into a Bloody Mary pond. So just wanted to clear out the moss so I could double check and make sure everything's going along as planned. And I see another one. See, like I said, you're never gonna get, if I can find it. Right there it is. Let's see if I can get that one. Oh no. Come on. Get in there, buddy. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this on camera. And let's see here. I can't find it. There he is. Alright. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.